safe seats in the House create gridlock. Because the only thing a congressman or congresswoman worries about is a primary. It is a disincentive to compromise. It is disincentive to long-term legislation that actually businesses and citizens can rely on, because it swings back and forth based on who has the majority. So this is bad for government. Right. But the answer to what Texas is doing is not for us, who say it's bad for government to bring our hands and go, oh, this is bad for government. It's to okay, fine. You want to do it? Let's dance. Let's go. Let's redraw every single state we can as Democrats to create more Democratic seats. That's the only thing we can do right now, because if we don't, this country's representatives in Washington will not reflect the country. It's not even close. I mean, thank goodness we still have senators who have to represent an entire state. Right. But what these guys are doing is really, really bad. And by the way, let me just say, I think the Republicans think nobody's paying attention. Yeah. I think this will have an impact on turnout, especially among Democratic voters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. And Dave Drucker, the other consequence, one of the main consequences I see from gerrymandering is you get the people in the safe seats, and I won't even mention their names, but you get the people in the safest seats. They say the most, especially on the Republican side, they say the most outrageous things. And they raise a ton of money. The more insulting, the more outrageous, the more vulgar, the crazier, the more insane they sound, because they're safe in their district. The more money they raise nationwide, the more their profile goes up. The way they're literally able to stand in the way of anything effective getting done in Congress. And I'm not even talking about on a bipartisan way. How many speakers of the House have Republicans had that have had their plans to move a Republican package forward stopped by people in these districts who can be as extreme and as crazy and as obstructionist as they want, because those are the incentives in this new gerrymandered world?
Well, and we've seen that over the past decade and a half, at least, because all the action, Joe, is in the primaries, right? I mean, how often are we discussing a topic here and you guys ask me what do Republicans think? And my answer is usually they don't want to rock the boat ahead of primary season, because the only place they're going to have a competitive race is in a Republican primary. I think Democrats also have to look out for this in this way, right? There's a lot of angst on the left. Democratic voters, sounding like Republican voters did for years, want their party to fight harder, fight more. And not that they should stand down, not that they shouldn't respond to fire with fire, but this could create the same sort of dynamic in Democratic primaries, where voters have to look over their shoulder, knowing that if they cooperate too much with the other party, if they're willing to compromise, if they don't appear to be fighting hard enough, it's the primary where they can be ousted. And we're in a situation, and look, what's happening now with the further gerrymandering of seats is on the one hand, we could in the short term have some more competitive districts, right? If you look at that Texas map, some is dark red, a lot of it is shaded light red. And that means if this atmosphere goes against the president and his party next year, I've had Republicans in Texas tell me they're worried instead of gaining 5 seats, you could have 10 competitive seats and you could end up losing seats. But in the long term, what you end up with are politicians that don't have a general election to worry about. They have a nomination fight to worry about. And that means they can hold the line, not do anything, get rewarded, and the cycle continues.
Speaking of Governor Newsom, we'll talk about his ongoing social media onslaught against President Trump and his MAGA supporters. We'll show you some of the latest examples when Morning Joe comes right back.